So attention Pottstown residents and Montgomery County. These numbers can be found on the internet. If you look up, Google search like reporting drug crimes or the Drug Task Force hotline, stuff like that, you'll get the DA's office who heads up the Drug Task Force and net. You may have to pause this video. You probably may be able to get some of the numbers off of here. But if you're tired of Pottstown being a fucking toilet bowl and the powers that be, zoning is one of them. They're like fingers on a glove. They all work together. The judge, the cops, zoning, the mayor. If you're tired of the powers that be not doing their jobs or not doing enough, they're quick to show up after the crime's been committed, but I see very little preventative medicine happening. Stop and search, preventing the crime before it happens. Finding the landlords for a nuisance property. They used to do that all the time. There's some numbers down there you can hopefully read. I had to cast my tablet to the my Roku TV so you could see it. But if you're tired of them, just not doing their jobs, basically, whether they're undermanned, understaffed, whatever their excuse is, they have the audacity to say crime's down in Pottstown. I'd like to know where. It went up 200% since I moved back here. I have a scanner, and there's also scanners. Crime Radar, I think, is the scanner I use to listen to Pottstown. You type in your town's name and, state, PA, whatever, Montgomery County, and it'll pop up. And it'll start sending you notifications of, fires. There's assaults all over this town. It's not, designated in one area anymore. Like back in the day, it was Washington Street, Summer Beach, Walnut, and Chestnut. That were the drug corridors. And Rolling Hills and the Village were drug stops too. Now it's fucking everywhere. It's on every street, every block, everywhere in Pottstown. There was just a shooting, like I said, behind the post office not too long ago. Car break-ins, assaults. Usually it's with knives. A lot of times it's with guns. There's all kinds of crimes going on. Hemorrhages, overdoses in the parks and the on the riverfront trail and stuff like that. There's people living down there. They haven't stopped anything. They haven't, came up with a solution for any of this. So it's coming up on voting time too. So you know what to do as a voter. If you're a voter in Montgomery County or Pottstown area, vote these fuckers out of office. Just get them out of there. New meat might bring new solutions. That's from the DA on down. If you don't want to step up and fight crime, get out of the office. You know what I mean? Norristown's an armpit, and all of Montgomery County is an armpit, but Norristown and Pottstown are the crotch and the armpit of Montgomery County. They need to do something about it. There's shootings every day in Norristown. It's ridiculous. And it's all spreading like a cancer everywhere. Now, again, there's got to be some kind of tactics they can employ, like curfew, stop and search, hitting certain areas. They know where these hot spots are. If they don't know, they're blinder than I am. They need to do something about it, and they need to get on and put a proverbial boot up these landlords' asses, because they're renting to the people coming from Norristown, Philly, and setting up shop here and wanting to deal drugs. They're letting it happen to our town. We are literally in bondage because of the powers that be. You can look outside. Well, you can't see it. It's too dark. But you can look outside. I won't see a cop unless something happens on this block. And they know this is all prostitution and drugs up and down the street. Pollock Building, Smith Towers, behind ACA on Apple Street. They use that cross, like the Pollock Building's here, ACA's here, that little alleyway right here, and then all of Apple Street. They'll come up and down there. New Street got hit. There was people down there going through cars. The New Street is the short. You could throw a rock from one end of New Street to the other end. And it's the smallest street in Pottstown, and yet they were trying to break into cars. What is going on with this town? Every night of the week, I can see at least 6 or 8 bicyclists, whether it's an e-bike, electric bike, or a pedal bike, up and down the street, muling drugs up and down the street. What are they doing about it? Absolutely nothing. No preventative medicine. You call zoning because these slumlords or turning the water off on you. No 24-hour notice. Last year, they almost killed me. They turned off the electric, and I reported them to zoning. They had the electric out for 15 days. I had to go down and stay at the drug motel, which they had to pay for by law. And I fell down the City Hall steps. I could have died. I could have broke my freaking neck because I'm blind and, I have other disabilities wrong with me. I want to sue the township and the slumlords. But I'm hoping, in all hopes that the judge will pull his head out of his ass, get on the zoning commission and the police to do their jobs. You know what I mean? And that's the chief of police, the mayor, all of them. This is ridiculous. I might as well move to Kensington and lay down on the sidewalk with the zombies. I don't understand this. How do you let a town become this bad? And then they'll water flowers all up and down High Street. They'll put a mask on. It's an eminence front. It's a put on. And then the underbelly is rotten to the core. It's cancerous. Nobody wants to live like that. And then you rent off these fucking slumlords who rent to nothing but drug dealers and fucking losers who break our security emergency door over and over and over again, trying to get in or out or set up a home invasion or a beatdown, whatever they're trying to do, a robbery. And they leave them do it. They leave them get away with it over and over and over to come back and attack me over and over and over. I should not have to move. The landlords are to provide a safe, clean environment. If they're not doing that, then it's on the cops and zoning to make sure they do. That's what the zoning department is there for, to uphold Pennsylvania state codes and laws. But apparently they're a bunch of limp-wristed wussies now who don't want to get sued anymore, because back in the 80s and 90s, they got sued so many times, I lost count. There's a website you can look up and see how many times the police were sued and the township itself and the zoning department. They've turned into a bunch of limp-wristed wussies who double-talk you and blame you and then try to oust you out of your home instead of taking care of the problem. So that's what I've been through with the past 2 years with, I'll name him, Alex Gonzalez. He's about as useless as a freaking, you know what I mean, stump on your forehead. So, and I've had trouble with him in the past. That's why I always went over his head to Charles Weller or somebody else. He's an arrogant, ignorant, double-talking car salesman that doesn't want to do his job. I sent him a notice. Yeah, that's gonna light a fire under their ass. I say, you find them, and then when you can't find them no more, find them one more time. Get them out of our towns. If they don't want to run a business correctly, they had no permits to pull wires off the pole last summer. I'm the one that shut that down. Well, they are directly because they didn't have the permits, the contractors that they were using. I don't even think Alex checked them to see if they were legitimate contractors. He's that inept and incompetent. So, yeah, I dealt with him before on Chestnut Street, where he told the heroin addict druggie roofer, just take pictures and bring them down to the zoning commission. He never brought them pictures down. He found millions and millions of termites. The guy told me he didn't bring the pictures down there. And Alex didn't want to do his job or step on the property. He's a fucking, loser, if you ask me. Like I said, you need to vote these people out of office and then get rid of all these mother effers that don't want to do their jobs. So, point being, they try to make you crazy. And again, I'm going to state, I'm not on SSI for mental illness. I'm on SSI because I didn't pay in enough taxes for my paychecks to SSD to get SSD. I didn't work on the books enough. So they think I'm stupid. They think I can't find a pro bono lawyer or contact a disability rights advocacy on these fuckers and take it to them. It's going to happen. It's coming. So I'm waiting for something really bad to happen to me. Fall down the steps, get burglarized, whatever. But anyway, these are the phone numbers you can look up to contact the DA to be a squeaky wheel. Squeaky wheel gets the oil. Share these with every Pottstown resident you can. Share them across the board. I'm thinking about making up flyers and just as I walk down, pop them in a mailbox or go in and ask the shop owners, hey, would you hang this in your store window? Got to alert people to this drug problem we have and break-ins and house break-ins. They burnt down a church here in Pottstown. Last winter, homeless people were breaking into this building, squatting in apartment 2, this empty apartment below me. I mean, that's ridiculous. Nobody should have to endure that. And what do? Shelter in place. Don't make sure your door's locked. Yeah, that's going to help when they burn down the building cooking their heroin. Yeah, thanks so much for your advice. Cops have become EMTs now. They either administer Narcan or give you therapeutic advice. None of them uphold the law anymore. It's a joke. It's a joke. So, like I said, when it comes time for voting time, vote these motherfuckers out of office. Get rid of them. They're useless. All right, thanks.